phrases that I thought are quite tingly and interesting. This is why I didn't stick to just slang, because I thought it would be a bit, I couldn't find enough words that are tingly and are also interesting. So for example, the word mate, I think everyone knows it, what mate means, right? So I thought I'd stick to more rogue ones. And yeah, because of that, I included some random words that are not, yeah. So the first word I included is the word mush. Mush, 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 mush. And it's kind of the inspiration behind the channel name. Mush actually just means, it's the same thing as mate. It just means kind of mate. I think it comes from a Romani word that means mush in Romani language, although I'm not entirely sure. And yeah, it just can be used as mate or just a man. However, I've rarely seen it used in an ironic way. A lot of the times when I see people like making fun of like UK slang, or yeah, just making fun, not even a lot of the times I see the word used in a kind of jokey, ironic way, kind of making fun of people, and the way I use it is also quite ironic. But yeah, the word is mush, 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 spelled M-U-S-H. I think the sh sound makes it really tingly. Mush, mush, mush. Alright, the next word, and it's not really a slang word, it's more of a jokey term coming from memes. Is I just really like how it sounds. The only reason I included is chippy chips, 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 chippy chips. It just means chips, which are fries, or rather a type of fry from the chippy chip shops, fish and chip shops, fish and chips shop. It comes from like a meme with Cole Palmer, who's like a footballer, and I think he's a footballer for Chelsea. But yeah, he said, you know them chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips. And yeah, I guess I included also because it kind of goes over the whole like chips, fish and chips, which are very UK fish and chip shops, and it is a kind of specific chip or rather fry. So they're kind of like cut, kind of like American steak cut fries, but they're usually a bit more mushy, a bit more soggy, because they are kind of packaged in like paper, and you carry it like it's usually a takeaway you get. You know, they pack the fish or whatever scampi, whatever you order, into like a paper bag, wrap it all up, and by the time you get it home, it's just all a bit like mushy. Or you put like salt, vinegar on it, but I really like them too. I like the chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips, chippy chips. Another English kind of thing, like a phrase I included, is specky, 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 specky. Which just means someone who wears glasses. So you could say, oh, he's my, like, the specky, like, I don't know, never mind. So the way you'd use it is like to describe someone, but I think it's more insulting. Like, I've heard it used in an insulting way, but yeah, specky, 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 specky just means someone who's wearing glasses. I don't have any glasses for me to tap on, but it just means specky, 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 specky. I guess you could say specky mush. Although I've never heard that. Specky. this is more London specifically. It's brethren, 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 brethren. Just means like your bros, your friends, your mates. I think it's kind of, there's like a meme about it too, like some guy rapping saying your brethren. I don't really know, but I think it is quite tingly, like brethren, 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 brethren. Yeah, I think it's more of a roadman thing to say. Roadman being like a type of youth culture. Kind of like the guys who wear tracksuits and like hang out. Usually are like kind of involved in, or alleged, or pretend to be involved in like illegal drug stuff. And yeah, they have their own kind of slang. That, yeah. But yeah, one of them is brethren, 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 brethren. You could be like, oh, me and me brethren, da 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 da. To like say, oh, you and your pals are doing something. Obviously, quite a belated disclaimer. I'm not from UK, as you can tell. I've lived here for a bit, but I don't exactly know the ins and outs. I think to understand slang, you have to have like quite a good understanding of the culture. So I try my best. I did some googling and whatnot, but yeah, these are the ones. So yeah, just in case I'm wrong or something, apologies. I'm not a native speaker. I'm not a native Breton. The next one is one of my favorite words to use, and it is jarring, 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 spelled Jarring. It just means terrible or awful. So you can say, I've had a jarring date. I've had a jarring date. Or you could say, that person is quite jarring. That person is quite jarring. That person is quite jarring. Jarring, jarring, jarring. I didn't realize it is a kind of UK phrase until I googled it, because I just kind of adopted it. Didn't think much of it. I thought, maybe it's a word that some people use, whereas others don't, because everyone has kind of personal vocabulary that they use. But I suppose it is more of a UK word. Now, the third, well, whatever, I lost the count, but the next word is dodgy. Dodgy, 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 dodgy. It's a bit more old school kind of word, meaning like suspicious, unreliable, just bad. So you could say he looks like a dodgy person, like he looks suspicious. Or you could say my car is a bit dodgy, so unreliable. Like if you have an old car, you would be like, oh, my car is quite dodgy. Or you could say, yeah, I live in quite dodgy area, which means like, yeah, I live in a bit of a unsafe area. Unsafe area, unsafe, yeah, unsafe area. Dodgy, 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 dodgy. I'm gonna take a sip. I think the sugar and the citric acid made my mouth drier. But this is so-called high juice, diluting juice, squash, cordial, whatever you want to call it. Peach and barley flavor. it's the drink. But yeah, it's this one. I only drink them because they're 0 sugar. So you get like, because I do love Coke Zero. I do love Coke Zero, but sometimes you want something different. Not a UK phrase, but while I was kind of looking up UK slang, it came up and I thought it was very interesting. And that is the term blowing raspberries. Blowing raspberries. Blowing raspberries. As you know, it's kind of a sound you make like to imitate a fart. So like, I don't want to do it. I think it's gonna be too loud, but yeah, you kind of make it to imitate a fart. And obviously, raspberry is a very random thing. Like, how is it correlated? Well, apparently, it comes from Cockney rhyming slang, which originated obviously in London, I think in 18th or 19th century. And it is kind of, basically it's slang that's used to, I don't really know why or what, but it's just kind of like rhyming slang. So basically, people would rhyme random phrases with random words. So another example I remember is the word believe was rhymed with Adam and Eve. Believe Adam and Eve. So you could say, oh, I can't Adam and Eve this, this isn't, so you would say like, oh, like, I cannot Adam and Eve this, but then the purpose of the slang is to drop the rhyming part. So you would say, oh, I cannot Adam this. This is, I don't, or like, oh yeah, like, I Adam it, like, I believe it. So, going back to blowing raspberries. So, blowing is just kind of act of like blowing in your mouth, but the raspberry part comes from raspberry tart, which rhymes with fart, right? Raspberry tart fart. And obviously they drop the tart, and it's just raspberries. So raspberries just means fart in Cockney rhyming slang. I couldn't find any more examples that are still currently used, because obviously you have to be really in it to understand what's going on. I mean, yeah, you have to like really in the culture to really understand. So obviously it kind of falls out of fashion, but the raspberry part kind of stuck around. And before the last word, I'm gonna do some more texture scratching on the only like UK thing I have, and be very gentle because there's a lot of makeup in it, but it's my UK flag cosmetics bag. I don't remember how I got it. I think it was a gift. And now, the last word is the word proper. The word proper kinda can be used in many ways, but obviously means truly or freely or the most. It can be like, oh, that's a proper fish and chips. Like, oh, these are like really good and like proper, like free, good fish and chips. You can say he's a proper lad, proper guy. Meaning, yeah, he's a good guy. He's like an honest guy. He's like a true good guy. Proper. I don't really know. I think it's one of the low-key British slang where you don't really realized that you're actually using it in a British way, because it's not like that like, you know, unique. Like, I feel like, let's say mush is kind of like, oh, what is that? But I feel like I've heard proper in American English as well. My first initial thought is property. I've been doing a lot of word searches, that's why. But yeah, proper lads. This is all of the UK slang and phrases that I wanted to include in this video. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you find them tingly and also interesting. Once again, I'm not a UK person. I've only lived here for a few years, so I might be wrong on some of the meanings, or like not entirely correct. So apologies. Don't take this as a tutorial. But yeah, comment down below which word was the tingliest or the most interesting. And if you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Such an OG YouTuber thing to say. And hopefully, I'll be posting